The Ass Carrying the Image. There was once a small church in a quiet American town called Willow Creek. The town wasn't big, just a few streets, a bakery that smelled like heaven every morning, a diner where everyone knew everyone, and a little church that stood at the end of Maple Road. Every year, the people in the town held a parade to celebrate kindness, faith, and community. It was the one day everyone came together, laughing, smiling, and enjoying the moment. Pastor Miller, a kind old man with gentle eyes and silver hair, was in charge of preparing the parade that year. He decided they would carry a special wooden carving of an angel through the streets, a beautiful, handcrafted statue that had been in the church for decades. It was meaningful, delicate, and deeply respected by everyone. Since the statue was heavy, they needed someone strong to carry it on their back. Not a person, an animal. So Pastor Miller asked Mr. Cooper, a local farmer, if he could borrow his donkey, Rusty. Rusty was a brown, slightly chubby donkey with long ears and a loud bray that sounded like a rusty gate squeaking. He wasn't the fastest animal around, but he was steady, reliable, and surprisingly strong. On the morning of the parade, people gathered along the streets. Children held cotton candy, couples held hands, and old folks sat in lawn chairs with iced tea. The sun shone brightly, and a soft breeze carried the sweet smell of fresh popcorn. Behind the church building, Pastor Miller and Mr. Cooper gently placed the angel statue onto Rusty's back. They tied it securely, making sure it wouldn't fall. "Now, Rusty," Mr. Cooper said, patting him. "You just walk straight, steady, and slow. Everyone's waiting to see the angel." Rusty nodded, or at least it looked like he did. He didn't really understand what the angel was or why everyone cared about it, but he was used to carrying things, so this seemed like no big deal. The parade began, and as Rusty stepped onto the street, something unexpected happened. Crowds of people suddenly gasped and then started cheering. They clapped, they smiled, they pointed. Rusty blinked. Wow, are they cheering for me? He had carried hay, boxes, tools, and even people before, but nobody ever clapped for him. Nobody ever smiled like this. Nobody ever cheered his name. In fact, nobody had ever cheered for him in his entire life. He took a few more steps. The cheering grew louder. "Look at that!" someone yelled. "What a beautiful angel," another said. "Absolutely stunning," a woman whispered. But Rusty didn't hear the word angel. He only heard the excitement, and he thought all of it was for him. Rusty's chest puffed up with pride. Finally, he thought, "People see how amazing I am. Look at them. I must be the star of the whole parade." With every compliment thrown in the air, Rusty grew more and more proud. He lifted his head higher. His walk changed from slow and steady to something more dramatic, almost like he was walking down a red carpet. People kept cheering, but their eyes were fixed on the statue, not on Rusty. Rusty didn't notice. Pride wrapped around him like a warm blanket, blinding him completely. He felt like the most important creature on earth. He began trotting faster, trying to get more cheers. The crowd gasped, not from admiration, but from worry. "Whoa, slow down," Pastor Miller yelled from behind. "Rusty, easy there," Mr. Cooper shouted. But Rusty was too caught up in his imaginary glory to listen. "They love me," he thought. "I should show them what I can really do." He sped up, his ears flopping wildly, his steps becoming clumsy. The crowd grew nervous as Rusty swayed left and right. Then it happened. One fast step, one moment of pride-filled carelessness, one slip on the pavement. Rusty stumbled. His legs wobbled. The statue lost balance. "No!" someone screamed. Rusty tried to catch himself, but the momentum was too strong. The angel statue slid from his back and fell straight to the ground. It shattered. Silence filled the air like a heavy fog. Rusty froze. His eyes widened. His heart dropped. He looked back and saw pieces of the beautiful carving scattered across the street. The cheering was gone. Pastor Miller rushed forward, kneeling beside the broken statue. People gathered around, some placing their hands on their mouths in shock. Mr. Cooper walked straight to Rusty. He didn't yell. He didn't hit him. but his disappointed eyes hurt more than any words could. "Rusty," Mr. Cooper said sadly, "they weren't cheering for you. They were cheering for what you were carrying. You let pride fool you." Rusty lowered his head so far his nose almost touched the ground. Tears gathered in the corners of his eyes. Not because he was hurt, but because he finally understood. The cheers weren't for him. The attention wasn't for him. The praise wasn't for him. He wasn't the star. He was just the carrier. And because he let pride blind him, he destroyed something precious, something people loved deeply. Pastor Miller gently picked up the broken pieces. "It's all right," he said softly. "Things can be fixed. But mistakes like this teach us something important." Rusty wanted to help, but all he could do was stand there in shame. The parade continued slowly, without the statue, without excitement, and without the earlier joy. Rusty walked home with Mr. Cooper, quiet and humbled. He didn't lift his head. He didn't trot. He didn't act proud. He walked like someone who had finally seen the truth. Back at the farm, Mr. Cooper untied the ropes and placed a caring hand on Rusty's neck. "You're still my buddy," he whispered. "But pride can blind anyone. Even a good-hearted donkey like you." Rusty pressed his head gently against him. He understood now, and he would never forget that lesson. From that day on, Rusty never believed the cheers were for him. He learned that sometimes people clap because of what you carry, not because of who you are. And that pride, no matter how small, can make you lose sight of what truly matters. Rusty became quieter, wiser, and more humble. And though he still had his silly moments, like chasing butterflies he never caught, he never again let pride lead him into trouble. Moral of the story: pride often blinds us. When we think praise is for us, we forget what we are truly carrying, and that blindness can break what matters most.